Welcome back to the Engineered Angler. This time I'm going to try to fulfill a promise I made a couple of videos ago when I was talking about using some other options other than two-part epoxy. If you're just using two-part epoxy with your molds, you're kind of limiting yourself. So I wanted to do one on doing a twitch bait in soft plastic. So this is not going to be an instructional video. It's going to be just kind of a quick demonstration, and then it's a little too involved to do all in one video, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of break it up in like 3 videos so I can talk a little bit about the internal stuff and then some of the techniques I use to get more than one color and other things. But anyway, hopefully this will be interesting enough. This one will kind of give you an overview, and if you can go from here and do your own, cool. Okay, so let's talk about what you're going to need to do this with. First of all, you're going to need a mold. It's sort of a shad shape twitch bait, soft plastic, more than one color if you're doing more than one color. It's better to do it with an injection system. I'll show you how I made this. Some foil if you want to have some internal, reflection, whatever. Okay, on a soft bait, a twitch bait, you can't put screw eyes in, so you have to have an internal wiring system. First thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put foil on this. Okay, so I've just folded over some foil on top of this. The next step is just to trim it so that it's trimmed up to fit inside your mold. Okay, you can see it kind of just makes a small triangle. You can't have too much in there because then you won't have enough plastic sticking to itself. Okay, the next thing I'd like to do is to add a little color on the inside. So I'll do it the quick and cheap, easy way. And so I'm going to go ahead and just put this down and take a Sharpie and put a little red right up near the bottom of the chin on both sides. I'm not being very careful. What happens is when the hot plastic goes in here, that red sort of just bleeds into the plastic, which gives you kind of an interesting effect. It looks actually a little more natural. Let's put a little strike eye in the back, just for a little point of interest. Actually reflect through and show through the semi-translucent soft plastic. I sprayed this with a little bit of mold release. It's not super necessary, but what the mold release does is it sort of it makes your mold last a little longer. So it is to place this in some kind of technique to hold it together. Now, I did a video on holding your mold, so use whatever technique you found to be best for you. I like this little wood clamp because I can strap it, and then I can also put some added clamps on here if I want to keep it from spreading. Before I move on, I'm just going to go quickly through the steps. I'm going to heat this up till it's runny, till it's soft and liquid. I'm going to take this. This has got a lot of metal in it. So what I do is I take my heat gun and I heat up the front of it so it holds a little heat. And I'll draw it in, squirt this in, let this cool, and then I'll do the second color because I'm doing 2 colors. Okay, I'll be using the microwave to heat this stuff up. I'm going to run my extractor, the vent in my paint booth, just to keep the air moving, because I don't want to have to wear a respirator, and this thing really draws a lot of air. You'll need a glove. So it's starting to soften. Okay, here's a quick tip. Don't ever walk away from the microwave, or if you do it on a hot plate, don't walk away. if you do, this is what it looks like when it all burns up, and it makes a mess. Okay, it's really close. I'm going to give it another 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Draw some up. Make sure I'm not getting any air. Okay, so that should give me a decent pour. Now I'll let all this cool, clean this injector out, and we'll start over on the green. Okay, let's go ahead and, oh, this thing's coming apart. Let's go ahead and open this up. Alright, our first pour is done. Still kind of soft. I'm going to take off all this flashing. Okay, this is cleaned up. I'm going to just stick it back in here and get ready for the second color pour. Okay, one thing I discovered doing this stuff, I don't do a whole lot of soft plastics, but what I have discovered is that if you let it sit, if you let the plastic sit after it's really liquid, let it sit for just a few minutes, you can bump it and get it hot again, but that allows the bubbles to get out. Okay, the green's ready to go. I'm just gonna give this a little heat. Don't have to draw that much for this. Very little going in. Get the air out. And always fill up your sprue. That'll give it something to draw from when it's shrinking. Okay, we're ready to open this thing. Let's see what it looks like. Not too bad. Okay. There's the finished product. Almost finished. Let's clean it up, and I'll show you what I do at the very end, and put some eyes on it and see what you think. Okay, here it is cleaned up and kind of semi-finished. The light and the dark. And hopefully you can see that the little dot kind of shines through. This isn't quite finished. I'm going to go ahead and run the heat gun across it to get it, give it a glaze finish, and then put some eyes on it, and I'll come back and show you. Okay, here's the finished product. It's got a much glassier finish now, but you can see the dot coming through in the foil, and it does give you a little bit of flash, and the eyes look kind of cool. So anyway, give this a shot. Hopefully this was enough information for you to go ahead and give it a try yourself. I'm going to do the next video on how to make this harness and make it right for this particular type of pour, and then I'll do something on how to get the two-tone. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully this helps somebody.